So I have not posted in such a long time. But I will be posting a video probably yesterday. I might have posted a video yesterday. But these are shot at like different times. I just wanted to make sure I have enough videos for the Christmas holidays. Now, I may have posted another video yesterday, and that will be sort of showing you guys what exactly the sort of content that I'm doing now. But if I don't end up posting that, this is the video. I'm sort of going to be going into like a more paranormal kind of like feel for my channel. I also have a few ghost stories or like paranormal encounter stories, and I'm actually going to be telling one of them today. So I actually do have some photos that I will be putting in this video so you guys have some, proof. Basically, when I was about, I will be going into it, but when I was about 8 years old, something happened, and so yeah, I will be showing you guys and telling you guys what exactly happened, and yeah, so you can determine whether you think this is paranormal or not. I've heard that this encounter can be determined as paranormal, but sometimes it isn't. So kind of want advice from you guys to tell me whether you think it is or not. But yeah, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I was about 8 years old, and basically my family, our house only has 3 rooms, or at least it had 3 rooms back when I was 8 years old, so maybe like about 2012, 2011 maybe. Basically, when I was 8 or whatever, I ended up having to sleep with my mum in her room. My sister and I used to share a room together when we were younger, a bunk bed, and when my sister turned into a teenager, when she hit, teenage stage, 13, 15, she wanted her own room, so we had to figure out a way, and that was for me to share a room with my parents. My dad ended up having to sleep on the lounge most of the time, so it'd just be me and my mum. When I would sleep in the room, I would always tell my mum to never shut the door. She would always wake up at like 5 or 4 or 6, and I'd always wake up obviously a bit later than that. I would tell her to never shut the door because this wasn't the first thing that I'd ever experienced as a kid. When I was 8, when this happened, I'd experienced stuff when I was quite a bit younger. So this wasn't the first terrifying thing that's ever happened to me before, so I never really wanted to be alone, never wanted the door shut. So I would always make sure that the door was opened. If it wasn't, I would totally freak out and have to run to the door, open it, and run out to go see my mum. But what happened was, I'm not exactly sure the date of it. I just know that I was around 8 years old when this happened, because this was one of the first years, I think, that I moved into my parents' room. So my dad was sleeping on the lounge that night. My sister was in this room, which I'm actually filming in right now, and my brother was in his room. So it's just me, my mum and I in the bedroom. So fast forward through the night, it was all good, nothing happened, and it hit the morning. So I'm determining this probably happened around 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe a bit later, I'm not 100% sure. So I woke up and I was on my back and I could not move at all. So I think you sort of know what I'm getting at. It was sleep paralysis. So 8-year-old me, I'd never experienced this before. I've never experienced anything like this before in my life. I haven't asked my family. I don't think they've had it before. Maybe my mum. My mum's had a few experiences before. But 8-year-old me had no idea what the hell was going on. So I never like sleep on my back. I find it super uncomfy. I try to sleep on my right side, on my left side. So this was very odd and just not normal for me to be even on my back. So I was awake in the sleep paralysis. I was on my back, and I will be inserting some photos probably right about now. I don't know. You'll see some photos of the room and the bedroom and the parts that I will be talking about. So in my house, upstairs is where the bedrooms are, the living room and the kitchen. So at the end, there's a massive hallway. At the end of the hallway is where my parents' room is, and then right beside them is my sister's room, my brother's room, the bathroom, and in between here is like the hallway, and there's like a living room and a kitchen right at the back, or right in the front. And so where the hallway was, the room, obviously my parents' room is right by the hallway, and the doorway was open. So the door was open, so I automatically assumed, because I didn't know what was going on, you know, I couldn't move, my body was completely stiff, felt like I was just walking through like water. You know when you walk through water and it's super like I don't know, the water's just so like stiff that like you try to go through and you have to like, you know, push your way through it. It felt like that. It felt like something was just pushing me down. I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. And I was still under the sheets, but I could just feel that I wasn't gonna be able to move. I couldn't scream, I couldn't yell. By this time I was trying to scream for my mom. Nothing came out. And so this is where it's gonna get a bit spooky, I guess. So if you want to click off, you can click off. This is where I sort of want you guys to help me out with, because I've heard a lot of stuff about this. So right by the doorway, there's obviously the door. There's like this massive wood plate right by the door, and what I saw was something that was humanoid, and it looked like a human, except it was like 6 foot, 7 foot tall, skinny. I could see its bones. It was so skinny, and it looked dead. Like it looked like something that was like rotting, and its fingers were like super long, like at least up to here. It was super long. And what I saw was, when I was there, I was looking around, and you know, I was looking around and couldn't see anything. It was somewhat morning, so it wasn't like completely dark, but it was light enough where I could still see things. And what happened was, when I looked at the door, because I heard a noise while I was having the sleep paralysis, I heard a noise in the hallway, and I look over because I can still sort of move my eyes to where I heard the noise. And what I saw was obviously this humanoid thing. I saw its face looking directly at me, and its hands just curved over to where the door was. So the door was completely opened, so I could see where that wood plate thing is, and it just kind of reached its hand over and just sort of pushed itself so that way I could see its face. So even though I couldn't necessarily see its whole body, you can sort of see like the curve and like the side of it, so you could see that this thing was quite tall. It was as tall as the doorway, and my doorway is probably about 6 foot tall, maybe. Not like crazy tall, like one of those basketball player doors, like those massive ones. It wasn't like that. It was just a normal sized door, but this thing was sort of like tilting its head so that I could see it. And obviously me at that age, I saw something that completely freaked me out, so I was trying with like all my might, just like trying to like move my body, trying to like do anything I can to just completely just get away from this thing. I can see it looking right at me. It's got no expression. It's just not smiling, not nothing. It's just fully blank, just nothing. There's no expression, no nothing on it. Just looking at me with its hand just around that doorway, just looking to see me. And obviously, like, I've heard a lot of stuff about sleep paralysis. I also, when I was 8 years old, I had no way of seeing anything like this. So I didn't even start watching scary movies like this until I reached like way older, like 15, 14 maybe. And I'd never seen anything like this before. I also never had any sort of connection, or I had any sort of thing to like a phone or an iPod or an iPad, or, you know, I never really did any of that. I also didn't even know how to work a computer properly at 8, so I didn't have any sort of connection to that. My parents and family wouldn't even watch scary movies around me, because back then I was so skittish and wouldn't be able to watch anything like that anyway. So seeing something like this, I obviously was looking at this thing for quite a bit, and it was there staring at me this whole entire time. It felt like it was going on for so long. Obviously, I've looked up sleep paralysis now, and I know it only goes for a few seconds, which is crazy because it feels like it goes for like hours to minutes. But yeah, it felt like it was going on for so long. And then eventually I somehow got out of it, and I obviously looked, the door was shut. So I think you can already determine that I was screaming when I eventually woke up and realised the door was shut. Having had this dream, this sleep paralysis, I was terrified, so I had to, you know, scream. I screamed for my mum as soon as I could open my mouth. I screamed for her. She came in, opened the door, was trying to, like, you know, calm me down, and yeah, I was just so freaked out. It was probably one of the most scariest things that at least I remember so clearly that happened to me, and that was so long ago. I mean, I'm 17 years old now. That was like 9 years ago now. Like, I was 8 and now I'm 17. It's so long, and that's kind of why I wanted to share it with you. I mean, even now, just thinking about it, I can just see what it was in my head, and it's terrifying to know that that's in the back of my head forever. But it's not something that takes over my life or anything. It's not something that's just always there. When I talk about it, it feels good to talk about it with people. Obviously, I know there's going to be people that are not going to believe it or are going to make fun of me for it, and that's okay, because I saw what I saw. And I do want you guys to tell me, though, whether you think this sleep paralysis demon, which I'm guessing that's what it was, is that something, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, sleep paralysis when you're, like, dreaming. So what I want to know is, a lot of people say it's, you know, paranormal, and some people say no, it's not, it's nothing like that. What I want to know is that when people have sleep paralysis, half the time they see something like a sleep paralysis demon. They see something that's scary, which is weird, right? Like, why, when you have sleep paralysis, you normally see something scary? I don't know. I've only had it once in my life. I've never had sleep paralysis ever since that day, which I'm so happy and thankful for. I know there's so many people in the world that have to deal with that stuff every single day, and I'm so sorry that you guys have to deal with that. If anyone that's watching this deals with that, I'm so sorry, and I just want to let you know that there is someone there that's always there for you to help you out with that. But yeah, so I don't know, it was just a super scary thing that I had to, sorry, I'm looking at the time on the video. It was just such a weird time, and that whole, like, obviously, like they say, like, when you're young and stuff, you see a lot of scary things, you can, like, see stuff because your peripheral vision is so much further than any other human being in the world, and around 8 is, like, where the time you normally don't see stuff anymore, which, honestly, I think you can see it whenever. I think anything's possible, and I'm honestly super open-minded. If someone I know or someone I don't even know tells me they've seen something, I will believe them. It's something that happens all the time to people, and yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. I have a lot, and I mean, there's not a lot, but there's a few, you know, paranormal / like just very strange stories. There's some that are quite nice. It's not every single time that I see something bad. Sometimes I'll see something that's quite good. Like, I might see one of my family members that passed away. If you want to know about those stories, I've actually seen some of my family members that have passed away. I will be happy to share those with you if you'd want to know about them. Otherwise, I don't know, like I said, my content's going to be changing. I'm going to be posting a lot different stuff, So if you want to see that kind of stuff, I'd be happy to post that kind of stuff for you guys. But I think that's the end of the video. So that was my first ever story time. So I don't know how that went. I'm gonna try to do better with like editing and making YouTube videos. I know there's only 19 of and I just okay. Anyway, I thought I saw something, I don't know. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for being here. If you're watching this right now, this video, thank you. Like, it helps me a lot, and yeah, thank you. So if you want to, you can subscribe. There's not many of us here, but if you want to subscribe, that'd be very, very thankful. I would love to have more people in this amazing family that I'm trying to grow. If you liked this video, you should definitely give it a like right now, or you should have given it a like at the start of the video. And if you have comments or you want to tell me your own stories, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I also do plug my Instagram and stuff, so if you want to message me on there, then I'll definitely be happy to reply to you and talk to you if you need anything. Yeah, so that's the end of the video, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.